I'll be right there. Because we need to make something prettier on that couch than Liam and Rob.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's why everybody keeps asking me to be in their bands. It's the only reason. It's like I suck at playing instruments. Like.
Now we can do our thing. We can say, which one would you rather have? Oh yeah, what do you got? What do you got?
Stuart.
See, that's not fair. 2 Stewarts at a speedway.
I mean, it's obviously gonna be
It's
Stewarts.
gonna be Stewarts, yeah. For obvious. I think I'm even gonna vote for Stewarts.
I'm behind a light
This tastes
over
like
here,
crap
Liam.
though. I really don't
Yeah.
like this stuff. This fucking cold brew always has like, it's got something else in
And
it.
I've got the cheap guy who brings it from
Coffee
home.
extra.
I like instant coffee. Am I the only
You're
one?
unable. No one can vote for you, and it was unfair.
It's 8 o'clock coffee.
Oh, okay. So I got that at home too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So we're on.
So, I mean, I guess we'll address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Me.
Your elephant.
So yeah, I felt like I was having like a mini stroke or heart attack yesterday. It
I
wasn't
had a
fun.
mini stroke the other night, but I was alone and the wife was asleep.
Nice.
Is that a different kind of? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, very mini stroke.
Well, it could be the same kind. I mean, the emergency room was crowded, like you said, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, who would have known?
But basically what happened was I was working at the second job, and all of a sudden I just started feeling like my arm going numb. And my heart was like palpitating, I guess that's the correct word, right? It was fluttering is the word that I used. And I started feeling dizzy and my eyes were going blurry and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh man, this sounds like what I've heard that's been described as like a heart attack or a stroke. So that's what happened, but I don't know. The hospital didn't seem to think that's what happened.
Well, dude, they put you on wires, man. So like, I would go with their opinion a little bit, but
Maybe they're just so used to seeing heart attacks now that they're like, oh, that's just a little one. It doesn't even matter.
You've heard of the $6 million man. You're the 60-cent dude now. Getting all wired up. And can we introduce our new member here on the couch?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I'm Jessie in the 518. Because that's what my show is called, so that's what we're going to call me.
hi, Jesse.
Hi.
So Jesse,
Jesse.
is a DJ, and when are you on?
Not that kind of DJ, unfortunately, but
You could be.
we
that
could
kind
try.
of
Everybody could do that, right? It's like, don't tell anybody.
Everybody
I said
can
that.
try to
Don't
do
tell
that.
anybody I said that, please. I have a lot of DJ friends.
So,
But
radiox.com.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. Tonight, actually. Well, it will be tonight at the time of this airing? No.
Probably not.
Probably not. Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Yes, and it's nice to have you. And
Thanks.
you're in a couple of bands as well.
Yep.
You want to plug them?
Okay, sure. I love
Oh, here's to put you on. Plug the one that you like the best.
Yeah.
No, see, this is another. You're gonna get me in trouble. So we got Anna Cortez, my baby. This is the one I sing in. So I'm just gonna probably be a little biased on that one. I don't have to play any instruments in that band, so I do like that one. It's very fun. And then we have No Such Thing as Ghosts. It's a newer band. We got Tom from Dance Cancer in there. He's very talented, very good guitar player. He's an okay singer, but that's why he wants me in the band. So he's all right, I guess.
Well, that's great.
He's all right, I guess.
He's all right.
He's the okayest
You can tell him
singer
I said
ever.
that. Tell him I said that. You can tell him I said that.
The whole world's gonna see this when
Yeah,
it goes
exactly.
on the page.
People be one day when I'm famous, they'll be digging through the archives and this will come up and it'll haunt me. It's like one of those things. So
Like the behind the music things.
yeah, I'll never live it down.
This is why you won't get the Grammy.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Little Richard never won a Grammy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and he is.
And that's some talent right there.
There's a man who invented the whole damn thing. So,
Sure did.
as he said, I'm the king and queen of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. That just gets you. You know.
Considering that they all interbreed, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I didn't understand like much of this stuff that I had to do on the charts and stuff. Like basically I skipped the hospital. I was there for like 5 hours and I was like, get this thing out of my arm. I gotta go home to my bed. And then they said there was a website to get my results. And most everything that I could tell looked normal, but I don't even understand half that stuff. But my glucose was like out of this world.
Really?
Maybe it was a diabetic shock.
Yeah, that could have been. Yeah.
Well, last I knew, my doctor told me I was pre-diabetic and I had to lose some weight. So I was feeling good because I lost the weight, and everyone's pre-diabetic. So now,
Yeah.
maybe I am, maybe it's
I'm
diabetes.
pre-pregnant.
There are skinny diabetes people out there. So
Yeah.
Diabetes.
That's happening.
Beatus.
That's funny, my wife
The
just
Beatus.
sent me a message and said, you don't have to be fat to have diabetes.
Right.
And that's really nice coming from her because she usually calls me fat.
Aw, it's like a compliment, a little,
Yeah, it's kind of like she
Backhanded
acknowledged
compliment.
I lost some of the weight.
instead of a veiled insult, it's a
And
big
she's
compliment.
buying insurance policies while we're
Right,
all
she's like over
sitting
there.
here.
Well, yeah, I
A
mean,
bunch of ones $5,000 and under, so you don't need the health
She's
exam.
like, can you not get diagnosed with diabetes so it's cheaper though? Like,
so I call her up yesterday from the second job. I'm like, can you come pick me up? I think I might have just had a heart attack. And she's like, oh God, I gotta turn around. Do you want me to sit with you?
Have another McDouble, fat ass.
Yeah, McDonald's over here in Waterford is being supported by this man and this man alone.
I mean, if anything happened to you, I don't even know what's gonna happen to them over there, so.
Yeah, they would go out of business.
Be a mass firing.
I used to live next door and I moved, so like that was a major hit and then,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right, you were right next door. It was funny because I have the McDonald's app and that's why I go there a lot.
Oh, it's so cheap
It's
with the
right
app.
there.
Yes.
But with the app, they also know what your name is, right? But my wife didn't know this. I actually went through the drive-thru over there with my wife once. And then they go, okay, here you go, Robert. And she's like, they know you? I'm like, yes.
You're like the special guest of honor.
I'm like Norm.
Dude, if you
The norm of the Waterford McDonald's.
If
Yep.
you quit McDonald's, they're gonna call you harder than the extended warranty people call you.
Yes.
This will be like spectrum level irritating.
Spectrum level.
Rob, we need you back. What can we do?
I literally.
BJ's does that to me too. They keep sending me emails. We miss you, and I'm like, I went there one time, and it was horrible. I'm not.
Nothing worse than a horrible BJ.
It's the worst.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
So you were in the hospital, like, would you have stayed if there was like some tough as nails but endearing nurse who grabbed your arm and said,
I love the writer and Liam, but endearing nurse.
endearing
So-
nurse?
Yes.
Or if Nurse Cratchit like strapped you to the bed.
Or
and
she
once-
grabbed your arm and said, son, you can't run away from all your problems.
Yeah, that might have helped. The thing is that it was just like, you know, once I told them what the deal was, they rushed me right in. I get on all these machines, all these tests. They take an X-ray of my heart, and that was just waiting out in the waiting room. I envisioned I was going to be like on a monitor the whole time. Apparently, they weren't too concerned about me. And as 5 hours went by, I said, you know what? It's looking like there's going to be another 5 hours of this.
Ugh.
So I'm not doing it.
My friend was in the hospital, I think, for 13 hours, and they had nothing for him, no answers. So you probably saved yourself some trouble.
Yeah.
Well,
I
they
mean,
don't
it's
call it
happened.
the practice of
Right.
medicine for nothing.
It's true.
For real.
One day they'll get it right, maybe. I don't know.
You gotta figure, and I was telling you this, that basically, if you're so bad that they won't let you go back in the waiting room, you're probably there for the right, you know, like if they let you go back in the waiting room, you could probably just call your doctor.
It was
next
probably a good sign.
time. Yeah, probably.
It probably was. And I've avoided doctors actually for, God, over 20 years. I didn't go because I'm a guy. I don't like to
I
go.
don't like to go either. I'm the same way. I avoid it. They only want me, like, the only reason that they got me to go back to the doctor is because they will stop filling my prescription if I don't go back. So I'm like, all right, I guess.
And you need your prescription,
Yes.
of course. Now, I do have a doctor. So I started to become an adult just a few years ago in my 40s. And I think it's the responsible thing to do. And she actually told me, she goes, with the numbers I had back then and everything, and again, I still don't understand any of that stuff. She was like, you are not a person that can come to the doctors every like year or so. She's like, you need to be here every few months,
Oh, jeez.
you know, to kind of, to get things looked
I
at.
can make a lot of money off of you. You're like a gold mine.
Right?
They're gonna upsell you every time. You know, you need your oil change.
Can we
you gotta
interest,
get
can we
brakes
interest you in
checked.
gender reassignment surgery?
I mean,
might-
I am interested, you know?
That's, yeah.
Can I try some stuff?
He
on-
Roberta and Peggy on.
It's just so, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous to say anything these days. I'm afraid to talk.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like when I first went there, I'm so nervous going to the doctors. I mean, I guess the whole reason I didn't ever want to go is I thought I'd go and then they'd just say, well, you got 6 months to live. So I went there and they're doing like the physical where, you know, they got to see everything. You know what I mean? My doctor, shout out to you, Dr. Haas,
Doctor.
pretty cute actually. You know, she's a little older than me. But anyway, she
Rob asked for 2 hernia checks.
No, well, this was the thing. So
Turn your head and moan.
they totally put you on the spot when they ask about the students. So here she goes. She's
Oh
got
my
my
God,
pants
okay.
down to the floor, and she goes, "Do you mind if this student comes and looks too?" And the student was like Playboy model hot, and I'm like thinking, well, now I don't want to get a solid, but I also don't want to be like flaccid either. You kind of want to be somewhere in that midway point, so your reputation.
Hey Doc, nice to see you.
You know, because you know they were like high-fiving or something after I left.
Where do you go from that?
Yeah, right, yeah, right.
Rob with a half mast in the middle of the doctor's office.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for
That's
tuning
it, that's
in.
the show. All right.
That's it. I guess that might be, yeah.
So let's talk about this Sunday.
Yes.
This Sunday is River Street Fest, or they call it just River Fest now, down in Troy. We have both stages, and we have the electric stage down just below the River Street Beach Shop and Sawtooth, down there in the corner of State and River.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob, who do we got? Because I know we booked them, but I don't even.
Well, shout out to Kai and I.
Kai and I, they're up on the
Maggie
Monument
and Kai.
Monument Square stage. Love those guys.
They're great. Great people.
What's her name? Christine Bile, Steve Moss, and of course our very own Queen of Chaos, Nikki Chaos, who will be running the stage and performing.
Oh, nice. Big
And
job.
then we have Richard Telt and his Blues Express down the electric stage. Chris Bazzone. Chris helps us out on everything. I love Chris. We go back too many years to even talk about it. The show's not long enough. Son of a Gun,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great band, and I'm forgetting
The Ryan Matter
Matter
Band. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't miss anybody. And this is actually, I mean, if it wasn't for Callahan Industries, this wouldn't be happening.
No, Donnie Fain and company over there, thank you very much. They make the roads safe, they make the blacktop, and they bring you local music. What's
I used
better
to
than
deliver
that?
pizza to the Fanes.
Did you really?
Yeah, I worked at the Rustic, so.
Oh, you worked at the Rustic?
Yeah.
They're a sponsor of ours.
Yeah, I know.
No kidding.
Yeah, my friend's family owns that bar, so.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I grew up near there.
Nice. I love Spiegeltown. It's like, I would move like a little bit past Spiegeltown.
Like
if I
to
could. I'm in
smell
Brunswick.
rose, yeah.
Yeah, probably smell rose, yeah. I've never heard it called that, but I like it.
We used to call it Spiegelville growing up.
Nice.
I'm so old, I remember when the Rustic Barn was called Anderson's Dairy Bar, and it was an ice cream joint. Then it was the Brass Lantern, and their whole thing was, they had upstairs where the, well, what do you call it, the banquet room
That's my
is now.
VIP room. I go up there to drink alone.
Yeah, they had a square dancing clothing business upstairs for a
Weird.
while.
That's strange.
And we used to call it the Brass Latrine.
Ha.
And then it became the Rustic Barn when the Rumplers took it over, and I actually DJ'd there, like, you know, spinning records in a bar. I did that for like 3
Nice.
years there. I'd leave there at 4 in the morning, get in
Yeah.
my truck and drive to Brugger's Bagels to bake bagels
Oh
from
my
5
God.
a.m. to 1 p.m.
And how did you not have a heart attack?
I had 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
I've had 8, yeah.
That is
This is
true,
his
you
first
did
one.
that.
He's
That's like kid stuff over there.
Yeah. John Mellencamp and I are neck and neck on things.
So square dancing clothing, that's such a very
That's
very
neat.
It's very
specific
niche.
thing.
Very
That's
niche.
a real weird kink.
That is really is.
I'm trying to think of, is that weirder than furries even? I don't know.
All of 10
Might
people
be.
in the United
Square
States know
dancing
about that.
furries.
Oh
Now
my
there you
God,
go.
there
That
you
would be the
go. Oh my
greatest thing
God.
ever.
Why don't-
Square
okay.
dancing
So
furries.
let's do like next time you have like anybody doing like one of those fundraisers or something.
Yes.
Just throw it out there.
We're
Just like-
looking for square dancing furries.
Yes,
We should
yes.
call Trad down at the
Oh, that would be
fuse
a great
box.
thing.
There you
Yeah, no, that would definitely
They would
work
love
there.
that over
would
They
there.
would
Yeah.
do that.
They would love
Yeah.
that, square dancing furries. But the thing is, I don't want to be in a room full of furry costumes. I don't want one to touch me. You know? Like ew.
Or stick to you.
Like I don't
pet 'em.
know. Like it's like, did you get toothpaste on yourself? Well, you're like, I just don't know.
Something about Mary. Hair gel.
It's very interesting, though. I think it's a fun concept. I don't really understand it entirely, but like it's entertaining. I'd go to a square dancing furries event.
As long as I can watch from a distance, I'm good, and I don't have to smell the room. You know.
You're a voyeur.
Yeah.
You're a voyeur.
I'll just
You're a
watch.
furry voyeur.
I'll just watch and just live through them. You know.
Adds a whole new level to doggy style now, doesn't it?
I feel like we should have an avowed furry as part of like just someone we could ask
like
furry
a
specific
token- a
questions
token
to.
furry.
A
Oh,
token furry, yes.
We should get a furry for, Ask the Furry and do that as a show. Kind of like a Letterkenny when they do.
Listen, I'll
they
do
do
it,
their-
I'll do it. Well, take that part out, but I'll do it. Nobody will know it's me. Yeah.
Okay, you hear that? Jess is going to be our furry.
Yeah, there is no way
The token
in hell
furry.
I'm
I
gonna
knew you were
remember
into
to
it.
There's
take
no
that
way in hell
out.
we're taking that out.
No way in hell.
I knew you were into it.
Don't tell anybody I said that.
Yeah, pretty much
It's gonna
everything
be
that
like
goes
my
on here is
catchline.
going in.
Don't tell. I don't recall.
I don't recall it.
I can say that 550 times in a hearing and get away with
Just
it.
say you were deep faked.
Right,
You were-
that's
yeah, there
definitely
you go.
fake, for sure.
So I mean, if you were going to be a furry, though, I mean, what kind of outfit would you choose? Which animal would you be?
Oh, dude, you know the Hanna-Barbera, the rhinoceros man, and he
for a
looks all
costume
stoned? I would be the rhinoceros man.
I would love. I still want to see you in a Sasquatch outfit.
Oh, that
yeah.
would be great.
Hey, you
Dude,
get
that's
one,
a
you
whole-
find one my size.
What about like a gill, like what are they
I'm
called?
We'd have to
Ghillie
kill an
suit?
actual
Or the-
Sasquatch and
what are those
skin him.
things?
To, you know.
Oh yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
You gotta get one of those.
So Rob, your furry of choice?
My furry of choice, God, I really have this thing for the Care Bears. So
At least you're not a brony.
Be a Care Bear.
I'd probably be the Care Bear with the rainbow on it.
I'd be like bipolar.
I just feel
Care
like
Bear.
everybody's like
You know,
a
I'd
cat.
show up dressed as a raccoon.
Everybody's a cat or a fox.
Rob
it
needed
looks like.
intensive care bear last night.
Intensive Care Bear.
Intensive Care Bear, I love it. I'd be a Care Bear with like a beer bottle and a cigarette on my
What the
stomach.
fuck is that?
Oh my goodness.
Or a
Why
Teletubby.
is he on his knees?
Oh, we could certainly be ordering up some suits here.
Yeah, how much is the suit?
I mean, these ones are kind of expensive. The really nice ones, they're like over
the
$1,000.
shitty ones.
Yeah, well,
500?
that's what you get for
500.
That's what you get for a list.
Yeah, for $150 you don't get much.
$150.
I could see us going to Spirits of Halloween this year and just buying all like the wigs and making our own furry costumes.
We should.
I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like a wolf or a fox. There
You
we
know,
go.
I'm kind of getting into this.
I got a
It's like cosplay,
overalls.
right?
That's not half my costume. I just gotta put some fur on the overalls.
There you go.
I'm
Oh,
halfway
they
there.
have My Little Pony ones.
We could staple it to you.
That's hot.
Or I could just have the overalls.
No,
and
I mean,
have
put the overall and I'll just staple the fur to your
staple
legs.
the fur to my legs. Exactly. I'm there.
If you
I'm
don't
there.
bleed for the cause, what
No,
good are you?
I'm
It's
okay
funny,
with-
my
I'm okay with
husband's
stable.
uncle was telling me the other day, he didn't know what a brony is, and for those of you at home who don't know what a brony is, just Google it, because I don't want to explain it, but apparently it's a sexual thing. I don't know, it's weird. I don't understand.
I feel
But,
ignorant right now.
yeah.
I think you should
know
probably
this?
explain
Okay,
it.
it's dudes who are into My Little Pony
In a sexual way.
in a
Oh,
sexual way.
Which I don't understand how it works.
Now I feel good that I didn't know what that meant.
So my husband's uncle is buying toys for one of my niece's birthdays, right?
Okay.
And she loves My Little Pony, so he's at the toy store, just grown ass
This
man,
doesn't
and the
sound
lady
good.
behind the counter is just giving him the weirdest look, like just glaring at him, and he's like, "I'm just trying to buy some gifts for my niece. I don't understand." So he bought a bunch of My Little Pony stuff. And he had to go home, and like he was telling one of his friends about it. It was just like the weirdest thing. I was just at the store, and like I was getting these weird looks, like I'm a perv because I'm in the toy store. And then it had to be explained to him,
That's
and it like
hilarious.
ruined his whole
You must
day.
have felt like the guy that
Yeah,
goes
he
to the
was just like,
pharmacy
"Oh,
for Sudafed,
God."
just Sudafed.
So I got a crazy story for you guys. Remember Deja Vu?
The store?
The
Yes,
store?
I forgot about that
There was
place.
one in
Wow.
Troy.
They sold like
They
stuff.
sold all kinds of
Colony,
crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And there was one in Colony by Guitar Center.
I remember
Yes.
that.
Yep.
Yep.
So years ago, my son Dylan moves in with my wife and I from his mother's house. And we said, you can decorate your room any way you want. So we go out to breakfast and we go over to Deja Vu. And he's looking at posters. He picks up this thing and it sees hot cheerleaders. Says, 2, 4, 6, 8, look at us and masturbate.
Nice.
And he picks up some other posters and stuff. And he's waiting in line. I look behind him and there's this like woman who looks like the church lady. And her husband's
What's the
standing
church lady?
from Saturday Night Live.
Oh man.
Dana Carvey?
Oh,
Dana Carvey's. Well, I keep forgetting how young
Google
people
it.
are. Google
Look it
it.
up. I'll look it up.
But she looks like the church. Like she's in this terrible, like, dress that's obviously polyester. And there's this taller, thinner guy behind her. It's obviously her husband. And he's standing there like this. I look in her hand, and she's got what had to be a foot-long strap-on in her hand.
Wow.
And she's standing behind Dylan, right? And he's like, dude, Dude, be glad you're just getting posters, dude.
Yeah,
dude,
right?
That poor kid went 15 shades of red. He was like 13 at the time.
Wow.
And the best part was watching this woman bitch her husband out completely. I mean, if you're into that, good for you.
Sure.
But they were totally into the whole sub thing. And this poor 13-year-old kid trying to deal with it. He wouldn't talk to Lisa and I the whole way home in the car.
I gotta look up what
That's
church lady
hilarious.
is.
You look up the church lady, Jess. Thank God for phones.
I know.
Absolutely.
Everybody under 35 would have no formal reference on anything.
So if you're gonna look up anything, if you're learning anything today, for the young crowd, look up the church lady. For the older crowds, look up Bronies.
Bronies,
And
yeah.
furries.
And
And
furries.
Furries.
Yeah.
And look up look up square dancing clothing just
Oh,
to
yeah, I'm
see
just
how many
curious, like-
actual entries there are for that.
It
That's
was-
definitely a fetish.
It's like
of
the
some sort.
big, the dresses were like these wide dresses, like T-length, I guess you would say. I watch way too much fashion TV with my daughter, and they'd have all the little frills under them. And the guys would dress up like something like Woody from
They
Toy
do-
Story. Watch.
It is like a fetish. As soon as I Google it, it's like little Chinese girls wearing freaking. I don't think that's the right clothes though.
No, but
Okay.
this was legit for
Interesting.
people like who were in their 30s who dug square dancing, which was always
Right.
the worst unit in gym.
Really?
Square dancing and basketball for me.
See, I don't understand why that comes up.
Our gym did not have that.
No.
Thank you.
Oh, we had square dancing every year. The only thing good about it was that was the only co-ed gym the whole year, but nobody wanted to be there. And then of course basketball, being a short, fat white kid, it did not work for me. You know, I
That's why
got
you
hit
gotta
from
play
the foul
baseball.
line.
Play baseball instead.
Baseball, yeah, gym. First of all, gym as a rule, right?
Yeah.
I mean, dodgeball was the only thing worth going to gym for.
And they took that away like right after I aged out, so
Well,
I
yeah.
luckily got.
You got
play.
to experience
Yes, I did.
dodgeball?
Yes, it was awesome.
Could you
got hit in the
sit?
face a lot.
Could you sit Indian style in school, or was it crisscross applesauce?
Oh, it was Indian style.
Yeah.
I grew up in the real world. I grew up like
Right.
that before everything got sugar coated and nerfed up.
Nerfed up. I
Nerfed
like
up.
that.
That's a good
Nerfed
one.
up is a great term.
I'm gonna use that. For
Yeah,
sure.
I've always wished I could get the job of being like an HR guy somewhere.
Oh my God, you would.
You
need-
as an
would
HR
need
Yeah,
your
me
own-
as an HR
The
guy.
HR would need an HR department.
That would be
Right.
insane.
So and so was mean to me, and they made fun of the trolls in my queue. Suck it up, cupcake.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Knock it off, dum dum. Go back to fucking work.
Yep.
Yep, that's exactly what needs to happen, man. Yeah, a lot of these people just need to, I
Grow
don't know.
up.
It was funny. I work
Grow up.
for the world's largest radio company. I
Mhm.
hate radio.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
I get asked one day, because I always carry a pocket knife. One, I'm from Troy, and two, you always carry a pocket knife because you don't know when you need it to do like work with it.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And my sales manager says to me, "Art, we can't get this box of paper open." So I go and I cut the box of paper open. Go back to my cube. I'm typing away, doing Salesforce and all the crap other than selling that they have you do. And next thing I know, can you report to HR? So I walk in HR, what's up? I thought maybe they fixed a screw up in my check from the week before, which that never
Right.
happened. But I got written up for brandishing a weapon
Get the hell
in
outta here.
the office.
Wow.
Now they asked me to use the pocket knife
Right.
to open the paper, which promptly went away in my pocket
Mm-hmm.
and then
You
written
were
up.
framed. You were framed.
I was
you were
framed,
framed.
god
You were
damn it.
Yeah.
I was,
Meanwhile, my friend,
where's Alan Dershowitz when I need him?
Or Roger Rabbit.
Or Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
my friend just posted a video of him, and he didn't try to, he forgot, but in his carry-on, going through an airport, he gets to the other side and he pulls out, he goes, oh my God, he goes, I got this huge freaking knife in my bag. How in the hell did he get through?
There was a thing on,
Because I don't really check everything, probably.
no, there was a thing on YouTube one time too, and they're showing, they had these big these big glass boxes, plexiglass boxes, and they were filled with all this stuff they confiscated. There was a fucking weed whacker in it. Who was trying to get a weed whacker onto an airplane?
That's insane.
Somebody who had weeds to whack somewhere.
30,000 feet, I'm gonna do some yard work, I'll just be out on the wing if you need me here. Oh, there's that guy that looked in Twilight Zone and William Shatner.
The gremlin.
You know, yeah. We go through the TSA one time, we're going to Florida. And we got my father-in-law and mother-in-law. My father-in-law was a trip. He looked like a cross between the Travelocity gnome and David Crosby. So think about that.
Yeah.
Trying to like
Yeah.
make that.
Yeah, the hippie,
match up.
right?
I think I got it.
So he's so worried about the TSA, he decides he's going to be uncomfortable on the plane to flight to Florida. He wears sweatpants. Well, they're a little big. So you walk through the metal detector and you hold your arms up. He steps in, holds his arms up, and the damn pants go right to his ankles. So here's my father-in-law, at 70 years old,
Wow.
standing in the middle of Albany International Airport
That's right, Canada.
with his, Canada, blame Canada.
Yep.
It's always Canada's fault for sure.
With his
Absolutely.
sweatpants around his ankles and his tighty whities at the TSA checkpoint.
That is, what a sight to see, huh?
Oh God, I almost wet myself. It
It's
was
funny.
so good.
I was flying out of Burbank. I was about to tell the story, and it's like similar but not exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I was flying out of Burbank, and I was trying to be comfortable too. And I was wearing the only thing I had because it was like a short flight, but I was doing my trucking school, so I was like had to go to Salt Lake City, and I was like, I was wearing these ginormous. Cargo shorts,
Sure.
like khaki cargo shorts with like a big fat zipper in the front, you know.
Yeah.
So it kept the zipper part, and they were baggy too, like they're barely staying on, and the zipper part kept.
Setting off the.
And she grabbed my crotch, and it was like this old lady, and I was like, it's just my underwear, and I showed her my underwear. I pulled my pants out because they were so baggy, and she was just like horrified, and I'm like, you're the one that grabbed me.
You're the one that's feeling me up.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
not
like,
even
"Please
buying
don't
me
touch
dinner.
me." I'm like, do you want to see
Really?
inside the underwear? I'm like, it's my zipper. It's my zipper, lady. And she was just like mortified.
I'm
and-
sure there's a category for that somewhere in some
Yeah,
adult
definitely.
website, right?
Yeah, she looked mortified though, like. But the thing was, she grabbed me, and it really pissed me off because I don't like being
For real?
touched.
Yeah.
So it like made me snap a little bit. Like I was like, I cannot. No, this old lady did not just grab my crotch, but.
We have really covered some ground here today. guys.
We did, I've learned a lot already.
We start with Rob's heart attack,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we've talked about furries and bronies, and TSA sexual assault,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and pants around the ankles. Seems to be a theme here, guys.
It does.
Something
It
going
does.
on, I don't know.
I think, what's in this coffee this week here on the Perk?
Yeah, for
Okay,
real.
so yeah, let's have everybody vote. I'm gonna put like an A, B, and C.
Can you
Okay,
see
so this
past
is
the-
homemade coffee.
This
8
is
o'clock.
homebrew.
Homebrew. Speedway, Stewart's, and non-coffee. what is
Yeah,
it?
it's actually coffee. It's water and coffee extract. It doesn't even taste like coffee at
That
all.
doesn't count as
So I don't know what
coffee.
coffee.
It's Franken
mud.
coffee.
It's
mud.
coffee food,
Cold
like
brew has
cheesy
a
food.
lot of
yeah.
sugar in it.
Yeah, and there's
So-
not supposed to be any
So
sugar.
you get to choose, because I'm gonna put like an A, B, C
Pretty sure
on
there are a lot of
these, and you get to choose in the comments.
Homebrew.
Homebrew's probably better.
Didn't cost me anything.
Stewart's.
I have
Stewart's.
Speedway, and I'm gonna tell you, don't vote for me.
I've
awful.
had that coffee before. It's not great. Did
It's
you get
awful.
out of the machine where you hit the buttons?
Yeah.
it
When
was
they have the
tempting.
beans up there like
Yeah,
they're really
it's
making
tempting,
coffee.
but it
Yeah.
still tastes like.
Those beans are an illusion.
They're not
tastes like
beans, they're
dishwater.
rabbit turds,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's
Those
coffee.
are rabbits.
That's
Oh
coffee.
man, they are
Worst.
open at 4 in the morning,
Oh, my
and
God.
I just
True.
got the
This
taste.
tastes like Bummy's ass.
Oh, one last thing, me and my buddy, God rest his soul, got turned around, and we're not allowed in Canada because I was driving a truck that can only be described as a pimp truck. Yellow and purple, fiberglass cap, full detailing, and we both had white trash hats on.
Oh my god.
They basically said white trash. I'm not saying like they looked like white trash. They said white trash on them.
Now you're asking for
There
it.
was like a trailer on one of them. It was like, and then as soon as they looked at our hats and looked at us, they're like, all right, we'll pull over there.
Oh my
They
god.
turned you around.
They turned us around. You see, it was funny because we get
Afraid
to
you're gonna
the.
take over Ottawa.
I know, right? When we get over there, and they're speaking French. They're like,
Oh.
we don't know nothing, right? So you go up there. It's like, have you ever been arrested? And then me and him both were arrested. So we were
Oh
like,
my God.
okay, I did this, I did that. And I was arrested for smoking weed in college. They were like, yeah, whatever.
Canada has no chill.
No, but they don't. And he was like, "Why I stole beer out of someone's car?" And they were like, told to me, they were like, "You can go in. You gotta leave him back."
Wow.
Well, it's Canada. You screw with someone's beer. I think you get the death
Yeah,
penalty
yeah.
for that. in
That's
Canada.
what it was. That's exactly what it was. So we had to turn around and come back.
Well, being white trash ain't what it used to be.
No.
That's right.
I mean, Trailer Park Boys is filmed in Canada. They're probably like, we cannot handle any more white trash in this country. That's the problem. They were like, we
Hey,
just
but
literally
this
cannot
might
take
make
one
you
I
more.
love that show.
There's not enough room, even
Definitely.
though it's like literally, like we were just talking about, it's all forest, but there's not enough room for one more piece of white trash in Canada.
It was all forest. I'm
Yeah, it
going
was
to
all
hell.
for it. You're going to hell, Ian.
going to hell.
Now we're breathing in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. After
That's
everything that's
awesome.
happened since 2019, this is small potatoes.
Yeah,
Right? Oh
for
my
real.
god, it's like been a freaking crazy, like, bad DMT trip.
I just hope you're all enjoying your apocalypse. It's slow motion, but it's fun.
It's a slow burn.
Right?
It's a slow burn.
I like it.
Yeah,
All right.
It's definitely different. Oh, can I shout out my show next
Yeah.
weekend? Next weekend, June 17th, you can catch No Such Thing as Ghosts. Watch me play bass mediocrely. Watch Tom play guitar very well and sing mediocrely. And it'll be fun.
You
Where?
should book yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, where?
it's a Fusebox. Look at, I don't know, go online and Google it, I don't know.
For those of you older, it's the former QE2.
Right.
And they're embracing that now too, with
Sure.
I know,
their,
they're
with it,
trying
which
to-
is great.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's a storied stage. I saw, Christ, I saw Sonic Youth there.
Yeah.
That's
I
what-
saw
Stage
the Red
so
Hot Chili
much.
Peppers there
Yes.
twice. Cowboy
It's a great
Junkies.
venue.
Got
Insane.
kicked out of the Marilyn Manson show there.
What did you do? Tell a story.
3 days drunk, living in my car at the time, went to the show at the Q. I'm in a Bruce Springsteen Born in the USA t-shirt. I'm standing in the front row and I am blitzed. I mean, like, just a bender. And he's doing his act and I'm up there and I'm screaming, "Hey Mary! Alice wants his act back, you poser!
Oh, no.
Come on, Mary, you suck!"
Oh,
and I'm just
no.
riding him
Love
like a broke dick dog. And next thing I know, I feel this giant meaty hand on my shoulder. And a buddy of mine, Brian, who is the bouncer, is like, "You gotta leave." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Mary's really upset." I'm pleading my case as he's walking me out of it. It's only like a 20-foot walk to the
Right.
back, door there.
That's so great.
And I'm like, if I promise not to yell anymore, can I at least stay at the front bar? So he let me sit at the front bar and he made Wendy Mackey, who now owns Thatcher Street, she was the bartender at the time, made her babysit me for the rest of the night and
That's
feed me
awesome.
water till I could stagger across the street and sleep in my car overnight. But yet Marilyn Manson got me kicked out of his show.
Little bitch.
Yeah.
What a nice
What
guy.
Yeah.
a nice
What up,
guy.
pussy?
What an ass.
Yeah.
He's always,
Like, I mean,
tucking
he is
his
somebody
junk,
that
so.
universally, it's like
What
every
up,
person
man?
who
Up,
knows
man?
him
Pussy.
says he's a dick.
Nobody likes Marilyn
Nobody,
Manson.
nobody, yeah.
He's
No.
and he looks freaking ridiculous now. He's like Michael Jackson died, so he had to like take his place, kind
Yeah,
of.
he looks like a bad rendition. Like somebody carved Nicolas Cage out of wax and then put a sun lamp on it for 3 hours.
He looks
You are,
like-
no, that's accurate.
He looks like if you asked AI to age a 12-year-old girl into a man.
He looks-
Speaking of that, the Goo Goo Dolls are coming to SPAC.
He looks
Have
like
you
Ghost
seen that,
Dog.
dude?
No, really? They're not SPAC worthy.
Oh, 2 years in a row. But have you seen the lead singer's face?
No.
No.
Oh, you gotta Google that. It's like,
Goo Goo
It's-
dolls it.
it's the worst plastic surgery. He looks like Joan Rivers, dude.
Oh God.
Oh, it's
Ugh.
bad.
Why do people do this on
I don't know,
purpose?
and it's like all these Hollywood people always end up looking like freaks, like they
Like
just
Kenny
like,
Rogers at the end of his life, it was like,
Yes.
Kenny, dude, you're not the gambler.
Right.
Wow.
Jeez, that's insane.
It's like Steven Tyler looks like someone's grandma.
Yeah.
Who's
Him and Julie
Oh my God,
Roberts
he
should-
does look
Yeah.
ridiculous. He looks like that guy that tried to turn into a Ken doll. That Korean
Yes.
guy. Or no, he wasn't Korean, but he tried to look Korean. That guy. Yes,
Really?
he was
Wow.
trans. He was trans racial
Continental.
or
Transcontinental.
transcontinental. That's ridiculous. He does look like that Ken doll though.
Wow.
The chin, the jawline, like everything.
Well,
Oh
I'd
my
love
God.
to interview him and just talk about his face.
Right?
I saw
what,
them
What
play
year did you get that
bogeys.
done? That little cheekbone.
They used to be a glam metal band when they first started. They're
Really?
from Buffalo. I saw them play bogeys.
Bogies.
And yeah, and they played in lingerie.
297 Ontario Street in Albany.
So we
Howard
are learning a
Glassman.
lot. We are learning a lot for
Howard
sure.
Glassman was running the joint then.
Mm-hmm. I saw a band called Karate, which is a really great band. You should look them up. Probably a terrible band name, but I always remember this at Bogies because the band that was opening up for them was Chop.
Karate Chop.
And the whole time, I think everyone thought they were going to see Karate Chop.
It would have been great if they came out and sparred with each other and someone played kung fu fighting in the background. You know?
They should have. But the band Karate, I think you'd really love them.
Yeah?
It's very Smithereens.
Okay, sure.
But the guys on stage, and I don't know if they planned it or if they just looked like it, but like the one guy looked like Kramer, the other guy looked like the guy from like Mad About You. They all looked like they were from 90s sitcoms. And they played some rockin' music.
I feel bad for Paul Reiser from Mad About You because he had to be on stage and he had to kiss Helen Hunt.
Ooh.
She just, woof.
Yeah, he did much better when he was with My Two Dads and making out with his other dad.
Yeah,
friend.
rather than Helen Hunt, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm dissing Helen Hunt. Helen, if you're out there, sorry. Even in Castaway, you just...
Sorry? Like,
Yeah.
are you really sorry?
No, I'm not sorry. I'm never sorry.
Really
No,
That's just what
sorry
people
about
say.
Helen
People,
Hunt.
nobody's sorry
Wasn't
about
she in
anything.
Twister?
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
a
she was a
twister.
We were like
Yeah.
voting for her to like get sucked into the.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, was she the cow that?
No.
Yeah.
Now you're fat shaming
Oh my
Helen
God.
Oh,
Hunt,
God,
dude.
she's not even bad.
No, she's not. She's probably
She's like skinny.
she's probably Canadian.
Yeah, right.
Let's-
Blame Canada.
Let's blame Canada again.
Yeah.
Well, thanks Canada for the fires. We
Yes.
appreciate it, we really
I'm
do.
sure they started them on purpose.
My asthma
Oh,
appreciates you for sure.
It's
You know,
just
They had to.
upsetting.
I saw a video on Twitter. I don't know, because I'm not a fire person. I don't know what things are.
Fire.
You know. So, but I did see a video on Twitter where there was like an airplane dropping things that are on fire into the forest, and then people in the comments are like, they're doing it on purpose, and the other people are like, it's a controlled burn, you idiot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna pretend I know what the hell they're
Yeah.
doing.
Well, when there's a big fire like that, sometimes they'll set fires
Yeah,
ahead of it
right.
that they can control easier, so it eats the fuel up.
and
so
then
the
if it
fire can't-
backfires, you end up with more fire.
Right, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You end up with backfires.
See, Kenny Rogers needs to be in that plane as a gambler.
Yeah.
Drop Kenny Rogers on it. No, we can't burn plastic. He's dead. too.
so we don't have to say
That'd be an
sorry.
environmental disaster.
That's hilarious.
I just want to know
Well,
why
the
the
hate,
fire.
the hate we're gonna get in the comment section
I
on
know.
this one.
I want to
Go
know
for
why
it.
the fire smells like plastic though, because it literally
Yeah,
does.
that
It smells
sucks.
like my friends they call it a toxic burn. They're
Yeah.
like hickish, and they like throw garbage bags into the fire when we're at camp, and we got tree cover. There's no wind. We're by the river. Like all of a sudden, there's just you could smell it. I'm like, are you guys burning garbage again? You know, I'm like,
You gotta trust rednecks. 'Cause,
Just
like,
like-
they marry blood relatives. Their houses have wheels. They
It's-
burn plastic.
and they seem to live forever too.
They
I
do
don't
live
understand.
forever.
Like, just can't get
Because
rid
they're
of them.
interbreeding with Sasquatches.
Yeah,
again.
Right.
But that's
So
what
what's
it
it
smells
back to
like.
furries?
It smells like a toxic burn outside.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
well.
I think we've covered all the ground we're gonna cover
Yeah.
today, right?
I think
I know
so.
I've covered all the coffee.
All
I'm
the
gonna
coffee.
I don't even think I'm getting
All the coffee
jittery.
is
So I gotta-
If
extinguished.
you haven't accepted the Lord and Savior into your heart,
Yeah.
I want you to repeat after me. Lord Jesus, please accept me for everything I am and everything I've done, and please relinquish me from everything I've been and let me move forward in your presence. And go to radiox.com, and there's an email link on there. You could send us checks for $1,000, and we guarantee you will be millionaires if you do so. Thank you so
Or
much.
the two will go to heaven.
Oh, yes.
And not co
And we are not financial advisors.
Exactly.
Consult the.
Well,
It's tax deductible. It's a religious organization.
While supplies last.
First Church of Jimmy Barrett and rock and roll.
Yes.
Results may vary.
Monster trucks. Now we covered it all.
There we go. Ah, that was cool.
That was fun. We should do that again sometime.
We
Yeah.
should definitely do that again sometime.
We're like the, what's that show that they have, the 5 or whatever?
Yeah. We're like the 666.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a great show. Instead of the 5, we're the 666.
Oh, by the way, the other